They ghost you, walk out like you meant nothing, disappear without warning. But what if I told you, it's not your fault? What if I told you, they weren't meant to stay? Chosen one, people don't leave because you're not enough. They leave because your light is too much for them to handle. You weren't abandoned. You were protected. The moment you were marked as different, set apart, favored by the divine, your life stopped operating by the rules of the world. Relationships, friendships, even family connections began to feel unstable. Not because you're broken, but because you were being positioned. Chosen ones don't have ordinary lives, and they don't have ordinary connections. People enter your life, yes, but they rarely stay. And that's not a curse. That's divine alignment in motion. Every person that left you was part of the shedding process. Think about it. You weren't meant to carry everyone into your calling. Some of them were never equipped to survive in the atmosphere God is elevating. You too. Their absence isn't your punishment, it's your preparation. If they stayed, they would have weighed you down. Their presence would have diluted your power. So, they were removed. Quietly, suddenly, painfully. Most people aren't built to handle the weight you carry. You feel things deeply. You see beyond the surface. You can't lie to yourself or settle. That scares people. Your presence disrupts their comfort zones. You walk into a room, and without saying a word, you trigger their insecurities. Why? Because your spirit speaks even when your mouth is silent. They feel your energy, your calling, your divine assignment, and they don't know how to process it. So they run. Chosen ones often confuse rejection for failure. But rejection is redirection. You were never meant to blend in. You were meant to break patterns, generational curses, cycles of dysfunction. That kind of assignment requires solitude. It demands discernment. Not everyone who claps for you is for you. Some came to feed off your light, not grow with it. That's why God allowed the separation. It's mercy, not misfortune. Think back to the moments that broke you. The betrayal, the distance, the silence. Each time, you thought you were falling apart, but you were actually falling into place. The more they left, the more room you had to hear the voice of your Creator. The noise faded. The distractions died. And in that sacred quiet, you remembered who you were. You're not needy. You're not too much. You're just not average. And average people can't walk with you where you're going. Sometimes God removes people before your blessing comes, so that when you rise, no one else gets the credit. That's why they couldn't stay. You were chosen for something greater, and not everyone around you had the capacity to honor that. If they stayed, they would have claimed a part of the glory that belongs to God. If they stayed, they would have sabotaged your breakthrough before it bloomed. If they stayed, you would have stayed small. People will call you difficult, too intense, too focused, too spiritual. But that's only because they can't decode the frequency you're on. You're wired differently. While they chase validation, you chase purpose. While they gossip, you grow. While they sleep on themselves, you wake up praying for clarity, strength, and direction. They don't understand your depth, so they label you as distant. But you were never meant to be understood by everyone, just aligned with the right ones. And those right ones, they're coming. But not until you've learned the sacred art of letting go. You must master detachment from what no longer serves your spirit. That's the true power of a chosen one. Knowing that absence can be a blessing. That walking alone can be holy. That being misunderstood is often the first sign that you're on the right path. Most people don't stay in your life because their purpose in your story was temporary. They were a lesson, not a lifetime. A catalyst, not a companion. And once their role was complete, the universe, God, your higher calling, whatever you name it, moved them out of the way. You kept trying to resuscitate relationships God already declared dead. But closure isn't always a conversation. Sometimes, it's silence. Sometimes, it's their absence. And sometimes, it's you realizing you deserve peace more than you need people. Stop chasing those who don't value you. Stop mourning those who are never meant to walk into your future. Your energy is sacred. Your time is sacred. You don't need to convince anyone to stay. Let them go. Let the doors close. Let the endings be endings. Because every time you release what's not for you, you create space for what truly is. You are called to elevate, and elevation always demands separation. An eagle doesn't fly with pigeons. A lion doesn't hunt with sheep. The chosen are called to higher ground, and that means you'll often have to walk it alone. But alone doesn't mean abandoned. It means refined, prepared, strengthened. You see, people don't leave because something's wrong with you. They leave because your growth intimidates them. Your peace confuses them. Your resilience exposes what they haven't healed in themselves. You make them uncomfortable, not because you hurt them, but because your very existence is a mirror they don't want to look into. And here's the real truth. If everyone could handle your light, you wouldn't be chosen. If they all could understand your path, it wouldn't be unique. If they all clapped when you rose, it wouldn't be divine. The rejection was never personal. It was spiritual. The people you lost were never meant to stay for the full story. They were just a chapter, not the conclusion. So now, you're entering a season where your peace is your protection. You'll stop questioning the goodbyes. You'll stop chasing closure. You'll stop explaining yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. And you'll realize, you're not broken. You're becoming. You're not alone. You're aligned. You're not losing people. You're losing limitations. Every person that left made room for more clarity, more power, more purpose. And while it hurt, yes, deeply, it was the pain that refined you. The silence that sharpened your hearing. The heartbreak that opened your heart to higher love. What you thought was punishment was actually positioning. What you called abandonment was actually advancement. The path of a chosen one is not for the faint. It will strip you, stretch you, silence you, and separate you. But on the other side, you will rise. Not because others lifted you, but because God did. Because your destiny demanded it. Because your soul was built for it. And when you finally rise, chosen one, you'll no longer ask why they left. You'll thank them. Because if they had stayed, you never would have discovered how powerful, how resilient, how destined you truly are. So now, you've stopped blaming yourself. You've stopped asking, what did I do wrong? And started understanding, what was I being protected from? That shift alone is the beginning of your liberation. You're finally seeing that not every loss is a tragedy. Some are miracles in disguise. Divine surgery often feels like heartbreak, but when God removes, it's always to make room for something greater. The reason people don't stay is because your soul is evolving faster than their comfort allows. You're not who you were 6 months ago. Your spirit has outgrown the places, people, and patterns that once felt familiar. That scares them. You're shedding skin they're still wearing. And people who refuse to grow will always try to shrink you. But you're done shrinking. You're done pretending you don't see what you see, feel what you feel, know what you know. The chosen ones aren't just different. They're divinely equipped. You see behind smiles. You feel the fake energy. You sense the betrayal before it happens. And because of that, people can't manipulate you the way they do others. You're not naive. You're spiritually alert. That alertness, that insight, that light inside you, it's a gift. But also a filter. It filters people out who can't match your frequency. That's why they leave. It's not always because they're bad people. Sometimes they simply can't evolve with you. And if they can't grow with you, they will resent the growth in you. That resentment turns into distance. That distance turns into silence. And that silence becomes their exit. Chosen one, you must stop trying to resurrect what God buried. Stop trying to explain your evolution to those committed to misunderstanding it. Your life is shifting. Your energy is rising. You can't go back. You're not who they remember, and that's a good thing. You see, people leave your life when your season with them ends. But not everyone has the maturity to exit gracefully. Some disappear, some betray, some break you on the way out. That's okay. Let them. The pain they caused, you will become the oil that anoints you. The very wound they left will become the well from which you pour into others. That's the paradox of being chosen. You're hurt deeply so you can heal deeply. And once you heal, you start to realize you don't want everyone around you. You don't want fake love, small talk, shallow friendships. You want depth, honesty, soulful connections. You want those who feel like home, not a hotel. You've outgrown temporary people with permanent access. That's why you're alone so often. Because true alignment is rare. But rare is sacred. You're not here to be popular. You're here to be purposeful. You're not here to be liked by the masses. You're here to be loved by the few who see your soul. The crowd isn't your tribe. The noise isn't your guidance. You've learned to embrace the quiet because that's where your creator speaks. And in that sacred silence, you've been rebuilt.